And Gerald, thank you for that follow. I appreciate you. Welcome. All right, we are live on the YouTube. Check, check. Yeah, microphone looks good over on YouTube. Cool, cool. So, what are we doing today? We got some stuff listed, right? This is our first step. Move timestamps to drop down related to status. So if we look at the app, what does that mean? And man, yeah, the app looks way prettier now, doesn't it? Oop, let's get the dev server running. Any thoughts on the logo there, Akavenge? No worries if not. Don't feel obligated or stressed about it. Just curious. And what's up, Edwin? How you doing? Yeah, thanks for the lurk over on YouTube. Anyone else that wants to lurk the YouTube? Here's the link. And yeah, what are you up to, Edwin? We are just getting started on this coding effort for the day. We want to take this metadata, once it loads. All right, we want to take this metadata and some other metadata and get it nested within like a status badge / dropdown. Real quick, what's a good, quick and easy thing? Like orderly? We could just use like a reorder button. I actually kind of like that one. Yeah, I don't see anything truly amazing over here for orderly. Right, like a pen or something. Yeah, some of these ones with a pencil could work. Right, like pencil bolt. I don't know, we'll think about it. We need some kind of icon for orderly. We do have it listed as alpha. Sweet. Yeah, UI looks okay to me. Whoa, really, Mantine? All right, so here in Mantine, it's probably going to be a menu, right? Toggle the menu. We show something like that. They don't necessarily need to be clickable. Maybe a hover card would be better, though. Oh, yeah, interesting. So we could do a hover card, popovers are meant to be simple, right? Ooh, all right. So, hover card is ignored by screen readers. Yeah, so that's not going to work. So trigger click hover would be worthwhile. So we could do some of that. Yeah, I think popover is actually what I want. All right, so over on the snippet page, let's go throw this into the DOM somewhere. Oh, yep, never mind. We want to do this within the snippet form. Here we go. Yeah, no worries, Arpopa. Mr. Sir, thank you. And yeah, what's everyone on YouTube up to? Anything fun? How about everyone over here on Twitch? All right, so we see this pop over right there. What I actually want to do, we're going to throw it into a flex element. What's up, Sure? How you doing? Leaning back in your chair, watching 2 streams? Nice. Which streams? And how dare you? I'm kidding. Carrot down or carrot down filled? We'll do carrot down filled. NBA 2K24, nice. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think that's actually allowed. All right, let's get rid of that. So gap does not go on there. What we want to do is variant light. All right, so we're gonna create a new status icon. All right. Can we get any of these imports? Nope. many more of these am I missing? Circle check. All right, so we got this component there. Should be able to remove that. I actually want to pull this out. Can we import it? Nope. Super annoying, but whatever. Yeah, see, it doesn't even see it. Snippet status icon. It's like until I've imported it, it just doesn't see it, which is weird. And yeah, how you doing, Tim? Tim Boma? There we go. Organize that stuff just a little bit. Okay, so we've got that snippet status icon. Now we can actually use it here in snippet status form. What up, Brady? How you doing? Okay, cool. This would then be justify flex end. Just call that hidden for now. I think I want to make it an outline button instead. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Doing well. How about you, Brady? Double check one thing on button real quick. Yeah, I should be doing left section and right section. Yes, absolutely. Yep. And I should be doing that for every button. Received your book today, Eloquent JavaScript? Sure, it works. All right, let's go fiddle with a couple more of these buttons. Just fixing the icon thing. Handwritten notes? Sure. Okay, we've got almost every button. This one right here and that one up in the top we need to do. Those are on the app. All right, so now that's a bit more uniform with the spacing. All right, so here on snippet status icon. What I actually want to do here is get a function. Oh, and get snippet status. Yeah, never mind. It just takes in that argument because it's a function, not a component with props. All right, so we export snippet status here. This would end up returning a snippet status. So what I end up wanting to do is grab all of that. Right, so if no snippet, got unknown. Oop, I just wanted the 2. All right, so that should give us our status. From there, we get status here. What up, Renok? How you doing? All right, so this icon lookup table pretty accurate so far. Icon circle gray. We're gonna say ARIA label no content. And yeah, how's everyone doing today? So we should be able to autocomplete a lot of these. But not all of them. Oh, but I end up wanting to pass in the height. hold on. So what they're saying here is it's missing a bunch of those props. I just want to be able to pass the height value to this thing easily. All right, so we're not using that now. Oh, I also end up needing the color to get mapped, and then I end up needing to map the ARIA label. All right, so we do that, and then within here we're gonna have color string and label string. All right, so then from here, we just want to do something like return All right, so now let's verify colors. Everything stays gray except for processing and edited, and then finished is green. So processing and edited are blue. right? That ends up being green. The labels then, right? So unknown, no content, processing. Unedited and then edited. Finished. Okay. So that actually works. And what up, Standard? Chaotic, you took the day off as a mental health day? Definitely needed it? Nice. Yeah, those days are great. Yeah, cool. All right, this looks a little bit better. We don't have anything in there we care about yet. But now we at least have some status buttons and functions. Where was I thinking I actually wanted that? It is right now, but I'm going to turn it off. We don't have any like form elements in there, so we don't care about that. That's just from some copy and paste. so that should make that look a little bit prettier. Sure. The width is a little weird, but I think we're hard coding that, so that explains that part. I think 200, yep, too short. Not 2400. Oops. I think we can get rid of those. Okay, so recorded at, we are not updating. Here's something. We might actually want to rely upon TypeScript's numeric enums instead of strings. Yeah, because we're not using the strings anywhere. I don't care about the fast refresh as much. And we don't care about exporting that. Not yet, at least. So yeah, what we want to do is get the current status here in the form. And yeah, we're going to go back to exporting this. I don't mind. So const, we can do this on every render. It's not that big a deal. All right, so we got our status right there. I think that box goes away. And yeah, we need the enum exported too. So here we go. Created, modified, we always show. Recorded. There we go. So if snippet status is greater than new, and status is less than or equal to recorded. All right, so then a bunch of these are going to be very similar. I think we want raw right there. Yeah, so this isn't quite right, and I think it means I'm missing a status. We'll comment that for now. Oh, and hold on. I got a fun tweet I wanted to share with y'all. Anyone who's been watching stream enough knows that this is exactly how I feel about it. This is what debugging WASM feels like. Anyone seen this clip yet? If it was just that, it wouldn't be that funny. That part right there, just, dude, so brutal. And she goes again, like, dude. I hope she's okay. Dude, she fell for like an entire minute straight. One more time. Dude, so gnarly. Alright, so, looking back at this. Let's record some audio for this and see if it changes our status a little bit. But it won't because we're not updating the recorded at button. Yeah, so we need recorded at. We need to actually update that status when it happens. And when does that happen? Well... It's a modal somewhere, but that modal is on the snippet page. Stop recording is something that comes from there. And it has no concept of when that happens. So yeah, we just call stop recording, and then this part wants to do an update. Recorded at date.now. My guess is I caused it to reload when we did the save. Oh, yep. There we go. But we didn't get a recorded at. So here we are, doing our recording thing. The processing... The processing needs to update that. So, hold on. Let's go look at our snippet model. So we do have a recorded at and a processed at. So I think our statuses are just the ones messing up. So we can go modify that processed at value. I think we're doing that up here in the snippet. Here we go. So this is the event that we listen for. This is where we update the content, and we also want to do processed at date.now. So, recording just a little bit more audio. Let's see if this works. What we're seeing right now is that this is not updating our content ref. Because we didn't pass it. All right, here goes yet another try. Let's hope this actually works and renders out and does what we expect. All right, so we didn't see any of that update, which is interesting. We refresh, we see the right icon though, right? Yeah. Okay, so the way that we're reporting our status is a little off. I think we're also going to want to have some type of thing saying, hey, we're processing your audio, don't navigate off the page yet, right? Something like that. All right, just double checking the tweeter. Oh man, my back is sore. In the best way. Let's pour another beverage. I got one more thing I want to do for this gray right here too. We can do that right now. Oh, but we do that over in snippet form. Let's say something like that. That's a bit light. Yeah, I think that looks better. Yeah. So yeah, let's think about how we're calculating our status real quick, because that is something I think I'm messing up. Man, I'm gonna have to hydrogen peroxide my ears here in a bit. Not now, but like, yeah, today, tomorrow, sometime. Might have a slight bit of swimmer's ear. A little bit, let a bit of moisture get trapped on in there, which is annoying. Anyone checked out that game Pal World? Oh, an Arkansas Snowman. I'm sorry, that was like an hour ago. Thank you for the follow. Are you guys dealing with any weather that would allow you to build a snowman? Or did you guys get missed by the stuff that's hitting like North Carolina and such? Alright, so I definitely did a bit too much in this PR, but let's keep working at it. When we think about the status here, right? Recorded at is greater than processed at. Oh, raw is after processing. Oh. Raw is after processing, but before edited. Right. Okay. All right, so greater than new, but less than or equal to processing is the recorded at. So we would want status to be greater than raw, but less than or equal to finished. What status are we getting? Yeah, I still think finished at doesn't make any sense yet. I think I need to log the snippet too. We see created, modified. Processed and recorded. Somehow our function is saying that it is status new still. So here we see status is 4. Oh. Yeah, never mind. I know exactly what's going wrong, right? We don't actually want to check for the maximum minimum stuff here. All right, so then ts get key from enum for value. Yeah, so in here, all right, in this text right here, this is a snippet. Oh, hold on. Yeah, nice. All right, so one thing we're seeing is that our status right here, even if I refresh, we do see that, yeah, we got it there. What I want to do one more time is that. All right, so recording some audio right here. We should see this resolve somewhere. Oh, what did I do there? Wait, let's try this one more time. Okay, trying this one more time. We want to see that update properly, not flash back to the audio we had. So the main issue we have is that our data is not having the fetch timestamp updated. I think that's part of the issue there. Oh, that's right. Yeah, any place we do start transition, or any place we do set fetch timestamp, we need to do a start transition for it. Trying this again. Let's see if it actually fills in the audio properly. And yeah, what's up, Ethan? How you doing? So yeah, it still flickers on us. But if we refresh, it's the value that's there. And I think that's because of our state. Now, do we reintroduce the same bug that we had just a bit ago if we do this? In meetings and Slack huddles all day? Oof. That's rough. All right, so let's try this again. Foo bar baz bet. Will it blend? Oh, that sounds fun. Let's do it before it flickers, too. Or after it would have flickered. So, trying this one more time. Let's see how it works. Maybe. Will it blend? Alright, let's try this one more time. Okay, check, check, check. Microphone check. Bueller. Ooh, I bet we're gonna kill it on the Bueller. Probably not gonna get what we're expecting. Bueller was turned into viewer. Okay, yep, sounds about right. Yeah, that works for me. All right, so then the next step. Let's go to this one that has no status. Let's see if the status up here updates as we expect it to. Oh, music's a bit quiet, huh? No, it looks about right, actually. Testing, testing, testing. So we should have seen some of this update already. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that's a classic film. Oh, yeah, this is working pretty good. I think we're set. Hold on. Ah, damn. I didn't quite shout out my, my lurk. Or not my lurk, but my, my sub in someone's chat. Oh, well. But yeah, how does that Pal World game look out? Look pretty good? Like, anyone tried it yet? And yeah, we could stress test it. What I think I'm gonna do for an initial release, though, hold on, where do we have the models even coming from? I know I got these somewhere. There are no performance resources, so I don't mind. I'm just gonna turn off just like the most expensive, like the largest models, and then we're good. I gotta figure out where I actually set that. Gotcha. Well, I mean, I'll release out what we got so far. Yes, let's get that pushed up. Yeah, a lot of that was just some fine-tuning. It's a larger PR than I would have intended. We're going to leave that section for now because I'm not sure how finishing actually works. Maybe it's just a thing that you click yourself. I'll leave the commented stuff, and yeah, we're going to say it's good to go. All right, so let's go look at some of the issues that we have. Creating a brand icon. If anyone wants to try their hand at making an icon, go for it. Try your hand at maybe finding one from some, some icon set somewhere. Or maybe try and do it with Stable Diffusion or something. I don't know. Have at it. Let me know. If you want to create an icon, here's the issue for it. I don't even know what it would look like or what the theme would be or any of that stuff. The next step besides a brand icon would be import-export functionality. So we don't have the latest up there yet. Waiting for that to redeploy. And we can tell because created at, modified at have not moved into that dropdown yet. So there's going to be a couple, things we fixed that aren't in there. I mean, up to you. You can just find one on Iconify if you want. Like, it's not even a big deal. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it. That's fine. I'm just saying, like, don't put too much effort into it. Now we're using PNPM. Ooh. That one's nice. Damn, restarted. That one's real nice. Is there any way you could get it as an SVG? Yeah, I'd be really curious if you can like get easy SVGs. And yeah, sorry for everyone not seeing it. Boom. That's sick. Now, when it is tiny, hold on, how do we shrink it down more? I want to see it smaller, not bigger. Yeah, that was clean. I like it. Worst case scenario, I could take what's there and just put it into one of those like SVG tracer tools. Right? That'd be easy enough. Yeah, a book with a microphone. It's good. Yeah, nailed it. Good job. Good job, ChatGPT. All right, Stream I Was Lurking is finished. Now I got to figure out where to lurk now. Yep, yeah, exactly. So just tracing it. Yeah, no, that works. If you want to do that in the meantime, go for it. If not, we'll get to it here in a bit. But I think we're going to tackle import-export functionality first. Looks to me like our deploy failed, though. Yeah. Why? Oh, because we got a bunch of that going on? Yikes. I forgot it fails out our deploy when we make a mistake like that. So, yep, let's go fix it. So in app, snippet forum, snippet stat icon. So app is one more place that I would have missed. All right, so they're in actions. That should go through and get deployed and we'll be fine. Then we will create a branch for import-export functionality. What issue number was it? 4, I think? Number 4. And man, we're kind of putting these away right now. I might not even be able to game tonight. Right? Acorn might not be available just because schedule. Robotic Head was mentioning that he might have to not be available tomorrow. But if I keep putting these away like I have been, I'm the one that's not going to be available tonight. These are strong lemonades. And I like how we knocked out that last feature pretty quick. This is not bad. Oh, I do got to think about what I'm eating for dinner tonight. Steak sounds pretty good. Steak sounds really good, actually. Yeah, some steak and fries. Call it done. What's up, Linux Boot? How you doing? Linux Boot, is that GPT based? Right? Global partition table based? Or what's the other version? I remember having to deal with it before when making a Hackintosh previously. It's like MB something? MBR based instead of global partition table based? Yeah, MBR. Yep. I forget which is which. You talking about like the Hackintosh thing? I don't know what MCR is, but you got to be careful of the MCP, right? Never trust the master control program. Wait, what is MCR? I don't remember what MCR is. Oh, My Chemical Romance. I mean, they were all bad jokes. That's the whole point, Zeb. It was a string/series of bad jokes building upon each other. That's the best. Oh, that's the best, right? When every joke is an inside joke for the next one. That's pretty solid. That's how you know you got a good crew. A linked list of bad jokes. Exactly. Exactly. Well, it's doubly linked. Yeah, exactly. Yep, no big deal. That's science. When it starts to have children. Oh, when it's fully grown. There you go. I like that, Steel Toad. That's a solid dad joke. That one's meta. That one's meta. Ooh, and a couple companies got back to me. I'm glad they at least got back to me, which is cool. So, yep, Descript, they filled the role. Canny, I think, also filled the role. Both companies would have been cool. Yeah, Canny recently filled the role, which is interesting, right? Very, like, nice that they're, like, transparent about that. Instead of just like, we decided to go a different direction, right? Like, just so meh. Yeah, I really like the companies that get back to you instead of ghosting you. It's almost one of those, like, the bigger the company, the more chances of them ghosting you. Like, I haven't heard a single thing back from a single Netflix application I've ever done. Exactly, right? Now that said, I'll still apply to Netflix because I got applications I got to do for my unemployment. So I'll throw another Netflix resume at them. Or another resume at Netflix, I should say. It's always weird to me when a company requests, like, references. I find that part interesting. Now, normally it's some of the better companies, right, to work for, better employees, better, like, coworkers, etc. somehow. So the reference thing actually makes sense, but I think it's, like, untenable for large companies. Could you imagine Microsoft following up on references? I can't. Nah, not gonna happen. They might ask for them, but they'll never actually call. They most likely reach out to a few. It depends on the company. Some companies might ask, and you're basically assuming they won't. Right, this one's asking for 3 past managers and 2 former peers, which is interesting. It's very interesting. It's like a lot of references. I've never seen more than 3, so. I assume this one will most likely call the managers and then just meh on the others, but who knows? Oh, yeah, actually specifying, like, titles. Yeah, for sure. See a name they recognize? Unlikely. They're not going to recognize anybody from these. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, import-export functionality. Let's look at the UI and think, like, where would that even live? And I should probably make sure we're running our server. We are. Perfect. Ooh, real quick, here's a question. We got to figure out what's causing that bug. What should be considered when developing a new framework? Are you saying, like, building your own framework from scratch, or just simply, like, learning a new framework? Right? Learning someone else's framework, but it's new to you. And then if your question is truly about creating your own framework and marketing it towards developers, right, from scratch, I think a big consideration is, like, again, hold on. What kind of framework? Are you talking about just for front-end applications? Are you talking about like a multi-page app style, like Rails framework kind of thing? Like, what are you talking about? Because the concerns for those two things are going to be vastly different. One of the biggest things, documentation. And that's going to apply to both. There's going to be some things that apply to every kind of framework. Your documentation needs to be amazing. But yeah, what kind of framework? UI framework. Okay. I would say, number one, whatever you're building, make sure that you build it towards these benchmarks a little bit. Right? So JS framework benchmark. And again, remember, docs are still important. When you look at the latest results right here, I would say you don't need to be the tip-top, most performant thing in the world. Like, oh my god, it's the best. But you definitely don't want to see too much red. So I would say instead, when you're building out your framework, see how it compares benchmark-wise to some of these other things. If you don't get reasonable performance and you're not already an incumbent framework, it's unlikely you're going to get much adoption. Right? Your framework would have to have so much of a user experience bump for developers using it that it would justify any bit of red. Now, granted, you might look and see that, you know, sure, right? Even like React, hooks use transition version 18, has some red, right? Preact hooks has some red. Den, we're literally talking about UI frameworks, which implies JavaScript. So yes, he's asking specifically about how to create a JavaScript framework. What I'm trying to tell him is he needs to do all this stuff. Yusuf, that's kind of gross. You don't even follow the channel. You've been banned once. What was the ban for? Yeah, dude, you trolled me over sitting here and chatting with people for 30 minutes before. No way in hell I'm checking your YouTube, and I'm ready to ban you right now. I'll time you out for 10 minutes and think about that self-promotion. You've criticized me for engaging with my audience before, and now you're asking for that kind of engagement. Extremely suspect. Take 10 minutes and think about that. Yeah, this is a great table. Like, seriously, if you're trying to make a UI framework, a front-end UI framework, you should definitely make sure you're considering yourself against your peers, which is you need to write tests and evaluate these tests as you iterate upon the framework. So I think that's one of the bigger things right there, right? So does that help there, Linux Boot? You can go get the exact benchmarks and everything. There's a repo for it. You can plug your framework into it, even if you just want to fork it yourself. That's fine. But there are a bunch of frameworks in there. So I would say make sure you're testing yours against all these other things. $186 implementations. Gnarly. So, did that somewhat answer your question there, Linux Boot? The absolute most important thing is documentation, yes. The second thing I would say is make sure that you can at least get yourself into this list of benchmarks. It's useful. People are going to look it up every time they try and find your framework. If it's not in that list, you're going to have a problem. And then number two, think about how does your UI framework server-side render? I would say at this point, server-side rendering in some way, having support for it in basically any way, is table stakes. If you don't support server-side rendering in some way, even if it's pretty rudimentary and basic, you're going to have a hard time getting adoption. Even though I don't think server-side rendering is a common case for anybody, there's plenty of people that do it. And that's all there is to it. Like, you got to solve their problem. Even if they're not needing server-side rendering, they're still going to want it. So I would say make sure you're thinking about that. So yeah, how do you handle static site generation or server-side rendering or any of that stuff? That'll be important. No worries. I think that would be a good video. I think this is a really good question. I wouldn't be surprised if Theo wanted to run with this idea and do it himself. Right? Hold on, Linux Boot. Do you have a Twitter handle you want me to tag you by? I'll happily tag you in this tweet if you want. I suggested they... No, that's fine, Linux Boot. I just wanted to make sure. Like, it's not a big deal. Would you like me to name you at all? Like, I don't know. Are you over in Theo's chat and he would recognize you? I wouldn't mind shouting you out just in case. But up to you. Someone in my chat. Linux Boot. You okay with that? If you want, I can remove your name. Just let me know. Right, so how do we feel about that? I think that's good. I think, you know, Theo would most likely have a pretty good video about this. And I would actually trust him the most to make that video the right way. He would skew towards certain things. But, yeah, like, yeah, he's probably the best person of, like, somewhat famous YouTubers that could make a video about it. Yeah, I think that's a good tweet. I'm gonna do it. Hope you're okay with that, Linux Boot. Your name is Corey. I mean, I'm just gonna mention your Twitch name because, you know, if you ever hop into like Theo's chat, he would recognize that name, not your real name, right? So is it okay if I use your Twitch name here? I want to make sure I do that before I click submit. Is that okay? Yes or no? Totally okay. You can say whatever you want. If you say no, I'll just remove it and just say someone in my chat. Okay, cool. Thank you. So yeah, no, I think that was actually a really good question. If you end up seeing a YouTube video about it, boom, there you go. Yeah, if I made a YouTube video, I'd just cover the same stuff I just talked about, basically. But let me go use the restroom. I'll be right back. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think that was a good thing. Oh, and I guess I had one more quick question. Were you asking about a UI framework for the web, or were you asking about a UI framework for, like, desktop apps? Because actually, I have no idea for desktop apps. I would still say documentation is king. But other things would be less relevant. I hope you meant JavaScript, like, front-end framework. Like, web framework. Web UI framework. There we go. That's the word. Oh, so desktop, I have no idea. What we just talked about was only for web. I have no idea for desktop. I still think for a desktop UI framework, documentation is king. But I have way less insight and understanding about what makes a good desktop UI framework. All right, if you're talking about like a competitor to Qt, I have no idea. No clue. So this is purely a question to Theo about web UI. Because I wouldn't, like, no offense to Theo, I wouldn't expect Theo to have really good opinions about desktop UI frameworks either. I just wouldn't. Sorry. Like, hope he's not offended by that. But nah. It's outside my wheelhouse, and I think it's outside his wheelhouse too. No. So I get you there, Linux. Yeah, if you're talking about Electron, that's a different thing. No, that's still a web UI framework, even if you're talking about desktop with it. When I'm talking about desktop UI frameworks, I'm talking about native desktop, meaning Qt. Yeah, so T Ford, I think they meant web, even though they said desktop. I don't think they actually meant desktop UI. I just think they meant desktop via web, which is basically just Tori and Electron at that point, right? Yeah. I was a little confused by their response too. So yeah, don't worry about it, T-Ford. Yep. I think we're all figuring it out as we go. Aw, and thanks, Call My Horse. What up, Lexin? How you doing? I am doing great. Nice. I'm waiting to hear back from someone I reached out to for references. Yeah, they haven't sent me a reply yet, but, you know, they're busy. And it's, you know, it's a LinkedIn message, so meh. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right, and this person's like a project manager, you know? So they probably get all sorts of like recruiting emails and stuff. So I'll give them till like tomorrow and then I'll send out the, you know, send it without their email. What might end up dying off? Me? Is that a threat? Are you threatening me? No, I get it. I'm sorry. It was a bad joke. Developing a framework, the risk of dying off. I would say dying off is subjective. And what up, Sergeant Pepper? How you doing, Standard Robot? I would say a framework dying off doesn't mean it's ever dead. Ember is still massively important. Hey, nice, Standard. That was for the company that you were interviewing with, and they said, hey, we'll get back to you, and now it's like 3 weeks later. Oh, more like 6 weeks later. Yeah, that's not ideal. I would say don't consider the last half of December as anything. You were never going to get a reply during that time anyway. I know. Yep. Yeah, I get you. Yes, jQuery is still quite large. AngularJS is still supported. Vue 2 is still supported. There's actually a company out there that specializes. They specialize in supporting end-of-life software. Right? EOL does not equal SOL. That is a really nice tagline, actually. That is actually really good. It happens, Acid Spark. Like, yeah, that's not a big deal. It happens. All right, you got your stuff written using Protractor? Yeah, that's EOL. They're not maintaining it. Drupal 7, AngularJS, Vue 2.x, Bootstrap 3 to 4, right? All these technologies, you can even request one That's basically money as far as their sales team is concerned. Should we at least judge them just slightly due to their side scroll bar? It's because of this exact section. I know, Corteva Agriscience, no way. It could be X Factor, but that doesn't excuse the lack of responsiveness, because the zoom and responsiveness of the site should actually fully react to what we're talking about, right? It's only one section of the entire site that causes that. It's one section of their homepage that's breaking it. No. So keep in mind, it looks fine when you're over here, but then side scroll bar. And it's because of this section right here. If it were to adapt, it'd be fine. Now that said, maybe it gets too narrow and they didn't want to do that. Like, that sounds like a terrible excuse. They just have not fixed this section, or they need to do some other stuff. Maybe a refresh would fix it. Why would a refresh fix it? Definitely not. Yeah, it's the same 3 client reviews. Yeah, for sure, right? So it's not even like it's dynamic and like an issue. It's, nope, they're not doing a resize. Maybe they were like, well, it has a minimum width because these get really weird when they get too narrow. Well then, yeah, at a certain point, stack them instead, and then you're done. It's not hard. Responsive design is not hard. You can support zoom levels quite easily. But it requires someone to test them. It requires someone to zoom into your site and test it. So their QA is lacking. That's not necessarily a great sign of a company that says, we'll totally help you fix your problems. Well, yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Right, so they do stack them. We're right at the break point that they don't stack them. They didn't say anything about not creating new problems. Yeah, exactly. But no one's perfect. I know I have issues like this on all sorts of sites I've made. It requires that I actually test for it. And yeah, that's the crux of the issue. If nobody wants to pay for that level of testing, right, with dev hours, then it doesn't happen. I've worked on an app that said, nah, we don't care about mobile. They know their users better than I do. I was just jumping into a new project. And granted, yeah, if you're making a dashboard for managing your Kubernetes clusters, you might not care about mobile. I get it, actually. That makes a lot of sense. Their marketing sites should still handle it, but the dashboard? Nah. Not important. They have user metrics. Now, granted, if you have a bad mobile experience on your site and you check to see who's using your site via mobile, well, yeah, you're not going to get that many mobile users because your site doesn't support them. So you're skewing the results by not having support already. So their usage metrics are actually a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's an interesting thing. But, you know, is what it is. Oh, Linux boot. We're not a big fan of those conversations or chats. You're number 509. And I haven't even measured every single person that said it. Where would you have drawn the line of not wanting to hear it anymore? All right, so back to import-export functionality. Let's get to a feature of this thing. It did! Oh, yeah, someone's bot is down. Alan, you out there? Feld of Alan, where you at, man? Yeah, that was a bot by the It of Alan. The bot's name was the Bot of Alan. No, it only counts when we do the command, which is why it's even gnarlier. We probably had up to like 1,000 comments on it, but we created the command just a year or two ago. The Netscape days? Yeah. There was a good article at one point. Netscape Navigator logo recreate. Yep, this is the article. Yeah, pretty cool, just like discussion of their journey. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hell yeah. So I think import export needs to sit up here at the top. Right? They're going to be buttons just at the very top, and we want to import from a file and see what that even means. Export would be rendering to a file, and that would be a little easier, I think. Before we go too far, let's go find some icons, because that'll be easy, right? So, import. Thank you, Linux Boot. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I wouldn't say I choose them that carefully, but it works out. So I think we're good. I try to enunciate as much as I can. Oh, okay. Are y'all from Userin's like group, community, etc.? Do you both know Userin? If not, I'll shout him out right now. Lexin, I'm pretty sure I've seen you come through from a Userin raid before. But Linux Boot, are you aware of a Userin stream? Let's just shout him out anyway. All right, so we got import and export. Funny to me that import and export use the same icon. Let's use like the upload download icons instead. Yeah, upload download. Ooh, book upload download. Ooh. Yeah, I think upload download's the one. Yeah, exactly. The import export should have been better, right? But okay, so here we are over in app. We need some icons. Icon upload. Yep. What up, Robotic Head? Acorn was on the fence, not sure if they'd be able to game tonight. Depends on their schedule and, you know, how things work out for them. But, yeah, we might hear back from them. I live in Washington State. Wait, really, X Factor? I don't think they did. File import right there is an arrow going in. File export right there. Oh, so the arrows go the same direction, but they're on the different sides. That I didn't see. You're right. Okay, I was expecting the arrow to flip. not the side it was on to flip. I get it. Yeah, that makes more sense now. Yeah, exactly, Robotic Head. Yeah, worst case, we'll figure it out. Do you have WoW? Do you have a character that you want to level? I'd happily help you level a character. Yeah, I would have thought just like flip the arrow. No worries, Robotic Head. Just throwing it out there just to see. See, here's the thing. I don't find it that addictive. I was actually like struggling to force myself to stay motivated to keep playing it yesterday. It's nice to zone out too, because it's a bit monotonous. But yeah, when you're playing WoW solo, it's really boring. It's like really boring solo. Which I find strange because I've spent so many hours playing solo RPGs, playing games like Ultima Online solo, like all that stuff. I never needed a guild in Ultima Online because it was just amazing. Like, it felt like a proper RPG. I don't know how to describe that any better. And hey, what's up, Rambling Geek? Man, yeah, you're one of the first raids we've had in a while, man. I'm trying to remember. I don't even know if we had a single raid yesterday. But what were you up to? Why didn't I use Tailwind? Because I'm using Mantine, and making them work together is a little more effort than needed. Only time I've needed to go outside of Mantine is like 2 files. If we look at it, we got app.scss here, just lightly meh. And then we've got one other SCSS file that's just some other like nested junk. No, it's fine. Like, I'm not using Tailwind on this. I have projects in which I am using Tailwind and Mantine. There's a bit of effort to make that work, but it's doable. It's possible. Let me point this out, though, Mr. Sir. Now, you may run into a bug saying, like, oh my god, some table isn't defined or whatever. Just refresh. No big deal. Just refresh. Right? Bald Bearded Builder. Let's check this out. Bald Bearded Builder is in here really hassling us about our Tailwind implementation. Hint, there is no Tailwind implementation. All right, so it does take upwards of like, you know, the time it took us to record plus 10 to 20 seconds, depending on the speed of your machine as you do it. For a brand new user, you may have to create the book and the chapters for it. That'd be fine. Because as far as I know, Adobe discontinued support for it. Speaking of World of Warcraft earlier, though, yeah, my character on the server we're on is named Macromedia. One of my characters. He's named Macromedia. He's a hunter, which means I can name my pet, and my pet, depending on the pet itself, will be named either Flash, Director, Cold Fusion, etc. So yeah, boom. I don't know if you saw it, but look at it, right? That recording I just did. Bald Bearded Builder is in here really hassling us about our Tailwind implementation. Hit. Well, okay, it's not perfect. There is no Tailwind implementation. So what we have here is the opposite of a failure to communicate. We are using Whisper. Here's the thing, though. We're using Whisper in the browser. Pure WASM, no server involved. This is truly serverless. There is no server. That will be the thing. I will be naming the spider Dreamweaver, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, that sounds about right, Acid Spark. That sounds pretty rough, actually. I feel like that could work. But yeah, so this entire thing, I'm using SQLite via WASM as well, right? So whisper.cpp and SQLite, both compiled to WASM, running right there in your browser with no server involved. Feel free, if you want to write a book, you can write a book. No, technically the static file server from GitHub Pages is the only server involved. Hey, what's up, Mario? I was chatting with you over in Algo Bro stream, right? Yeah, how you doing? Did you check out Xtism? It's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm at about the point where I should probably go lurk Algo Bro. Yeah, let's do that. Abs chat. What do I think about Solid.js? It's fine. Until you have a more specific, valuable question there, Amacrop, I don't know, it's fine. Yeah, I don't have strong opinions about tools. I just use them to get things done. I could be productive with any front-end framework you throw at me, as long as they have decent enough documentation. I would expect any good developer to do the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I would just say you're going to run into hiccups, but it shouldn't be that hard. So Mario, no. Think about it this way. You could write your plugin for that system. All he needs to do is establish the thing that consumes your plugin, right? So realistically, if he ever wants to build a plugin system, he should use Xtism as the interface layer. And then you're good to go, right? I would expect if he ever open sources what he's working on, you could add that support pretty easily. Hot dog editor. It does sound somewhat familiar, but no. I didn't do that much, like, raw HTML back in the day. No, it's just something to consider, Mario, right? The whole point is that you could write your plugin in any language you want, and the host of the plugin would just need to establish Xtism as the interoperability layer. Right? So I think a big part would be if Algo Bro wants to license his software to other hedge funds. That would be the big value. Now, I don't think so because that's his competitive advantage, so why would he do that? So it might not make any sense. I was thinking more just simply, Mario, like if that type of system is anything you ever need to build, right, in which you need to establish a plugin ecosystem, well then there you go. Oh, hold up. I know the reference that name's from. Doctor says I need a backiotomy. He even had sex with my mama. Why? Did I nail it? Is that a reference to Half-Baked? Backiotomy? Thank you for the follow. No wonder this guy smokes a pound of weed a day. Yeah, damn right. I saw that movie in theater. I'm that old. Yeah, I saw Half-Baked in the theater with my dad, and we smoked beforehand. Yeah, it was awesome. Doctor says I need a backiotomy. Right? Like, dude, it's such a good line. Hey, thank you for the sub. Yeah, I appreciate that. So Acid Spark and Bald Bearded Builder, instead, y'all need to broaden your horizons and watch Hot Dog the movie. And then that's all you'll ever think about when you hear Hot Dog. Not the bad theme, not some editor. The movie, which predates all of them. Hot Dog the movie is a classic. Super good. But yeah, so, again, everyone out there, if you're trying to test out the app, feel free, do any recordings you want. Try not to load the gigabyte-sized model because it'll take a while to download and it'll chew up my bandwidth. Let's look at it real quick. How mad is storage at me? Just refresh that real quick. You should be good after a refresh. I gotta figure out like the order of operations there. Yeah, simple refresh should solve it. Like, no problem. Yeah, the slider for threads is important. If you're on a machine faster than what I got, you should definitely make sure that you, give it some more threads. I recommend smaller models until you feel like you need a larger one. Smaller models run faster as well. They require less RAM to use, and they're accurate enough, you know? There you go, the bread. Totally not a biased question. I get it. I get it. Really? So I didn't see the refresh. So I just added a snippet. Updating should work. I would say try and do a hard refresh if you loaded it before, because you might be on like an older version. No, this is running purely off of the web at this point, like what you're seeing on screen right now. Yeah, so I would say do an Apple Shift R just to make sure you're not using cached assets. Because, like, bare minimum, you should see the insert before, insert after buttons. If you don't see any of that, you got an issue. The thing I'm doing drag and drop with is actually built out from React Arborist, which is not perfect. It's not, like, terrible, but it's not perfect. Yeah, so React Arborist is not just a drag and drop thing. It's more for like the tree view and like, you know, sorting and dragging things within a tree view like this. Right? Like basically making the Gmail side pane. Ooh, yes, there is zero support for mobile yet. I'm sorry there, X Factor. Yeah, mobile is not what we're like even trying to support yet. Yeah, so that's my bad. Like, mobile is completely unsupported. No, that's a good note. Thank you for testing that. I really appreciate it. We will need to make mobile be supported here eventually, but is that a problem for right now? Nope. Nope. That's a separate problem, man. I think Siri probably has your back on that one. Siri's probably got it. Right? I believe Prime doesn't even type out his tweets. He uses Siri to, like, record them. Ooh, and that's a big thing I had to make sure I did yesterday. I was in like a WoW chat with some people, and they started chatting and mentioning some things. And someone mentioned how like, man, it's really cool to see Prime gaming. Do you not remember when he played a bunch of other games in the past? Like, I don't know, man. He's done it. He doesn't do it on a regular basis because his numbers are easily 25% of his normal numbers when he does so. But yeah, like, you know, one of those things where people say things and then I have strong opinions and I really feel like correcting people, but you don't need to do that all the time. People can just be wrong and it's okay. It doesn't harm your life in any way for someone else to be wrong about something. In most cases. You can just let people be wrong. You don't have to correct them. It's a thing I'm still working on and still learning. My instinct is to correct people when I hear something obviously wrong. I was in a call earlier today with the unemployment people. And they were like, well, yeah, and what is the role that you're applying for? And I was like, so typically, like, you know, software developer, like senior software developer, etc. And they're like, okay, and not software programmer. And I was like, well, hold on. What's the difference between a software programmer and a software developer? And they were like, well, you could Google it. And I was like, no, if I Google it, I'm not going to get anything that actually matters. What is the difference on your end? And he was like, I don't know. And then we just moved on. But he was sitting there saying, like, there is a difference. And I was saying, no, there is not a difference. Well, you could Google it. Dude. I'm actually a software developer. You're a dude doing calls for unemployment. Like, but I didn't say that. I simply smiled and nodded and moved on. Have you Googled it? Like, yeah, exactly. I definitely laughed at him a little bit like, oh man, no. There isn't a difference, okay? He didn't believe me, and then we just moved on. It was fine. It was fine. I think we both know he is not either one of the two, a software developer or a software programmer. I'm still really curious about what the difference is. Like, I'm so curious what the difference in their system is. It's definitely just some drop down, right? And he's like, well, yeah, duh. I even said software engineer. He's like, well, hold on. Are you a developer or a programmer? Yes. Right? Like, it's just so weird, man. Yeah, they were just ticking a box, you know? Like, yeah, let's not, like, get down too hard on the person that has zero clue about what we do day to day. AI is going to take your job because every normal person could just do it with AI prompting. I submit to the court evidence that the answer is no. Because this person doesn't even have the wherewithal to discern whether these things are different or the same. Do you think they're going to be able to identify good or bad output from a GPT? Nope. So yeah, right? Our jobs are safe. They're really safe because the majority of the world out there has no idea what we do. Not a single clue. They just expect it to work. They're just common users. They're not even power users. They're just normal, everyday users of applications we want to build. That person is not taking your job. You're good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Your manager is not taking your job. They don't want to deal with it. Ooh, Den, but you might consider something like code search to understand that code base better. Some people might understand why I am hyping this up. But yeah, my general process for combing a large code base is to find a problem to solve and dig into it and start tracing my way through things and to create a mental map. There's software out there that does that for you? Well, okay, I still need to create a mental map from what they give me, right? So again, Sourcegraph doesn't replace developers, it makes developers more productive. Right? Code search in general, especially Cody, right? Things like that. I get it. I totally get it. And yeah, Robotic Head, if you're still out there, I have been putting the lemonades away today. I might not even be capable of gaming tonight. We'll see, we'll see. No, it's fine, Yoinked Phone. Like, I'd prefer it if we could share it with people. Share it here, why not, man? Who cares? Screw it, no big deal. Right? I want to see it, everyone else wants to see it too. In the meantime, let me go use the restroom and pour some more water, and I'll be right back. Yeah, now you mentioned it, we all need to see it. Come on, man. All right. Sorry for the delay. Oh. I got some steak thawing in the fridge. Submerged it in some water. It'll be pretty good. It's a big one too. Like, it's a big steak. It's a really big steak. The spices were actually put on it before I froze it. Those spices are rosemary, garlic powder, onion flakes, salt and pepper. Right? Really basic, really simple. I'll be cooking it in pure butter. Oh, it's good. It is good. Yeah. It'll be a solid meal. When you say chips, I'll be making it with fries. Salt, garlic, pepper, and rosemary. Yeah, that makes sense. I think the onion is worthwhile, but, you know, you can always add that yourself later. All right, so here's the image that MetaJezza just made. Wait, hold on, not MetaJezza, sorry. X Factor just made. It's kind of nice. I like it. Oh shit, no, it's chatting, not X Factor. My bad. I can read. I don't think I actually can. So yeah, sorry. Chatting on a yoinked phone. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's solid. It looks good. What is the pardon my phrasing, but what is this shaft for? What is the shaft for? Oh, I get it. Yeah. It's like the top of a book, but the book, it's showing us the back page instead of the front page. Because if we're looking at a book this way, the binding on the right would mean we're looking at the last, like, you know, like the opposite of the cover. I like the concept. Yes, it does look a bit like a shaft? Ah, that makes more sense. Yes, in Arab you read right to left, so that would make more sense too. No, Insanities, you're totally right. That's most likely where that's coming from. Yeah, you're totally right. So in certain countries, we would just flip the logo. Bam. Like, no big deal. Yeah, perspective does seem slightly off. But I don't know. I'm no artist. I can't draw. Ooh, are manga actually read right to left as well? I didn't know that. Ah, fancy. But it was constructive, right, T Ford? Because I could have made it way grosser. Right? I could have been far more explicit. Everyone suddenly became left-handed. That's actually more explicit than what we were talking about. No, I get it, T-Ford. I'm just joking. I was literally meaning what you thought I meant. Right? And especially with, like, a person's mouth agape. I'd say at least the shaft wasn't flipped. I mean, the book page lines. My bad. There we go. I would say you're better off doing the logo non-skewed. That said, I think we have a really good icon here. I just need to trace it to SVG in some way. Like, this one's good. This one's really solid. I really like it. But yeah, we'd have to, like, figure out how to trace it to SVG, and that would be a bit more effort. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say, like, the ChatGPT icon prompting is not a bad way to go. Well, I don't know this album. Hold on. Nope, that one is not necessarily allowed for no copyright stuff. So let's go back to some more no copyright stuff. I believe that was created with AI. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So again, don't feel bad about it, Yoinked Phone. Yeah, thank you for the effort. Yeah, that was solid. I would say, hold on. The one that you linked, this one, I'd say it would be better without the skew. So here's the thing, MetaJezza, I'm okay with it being public domain because the app itself is public domain. Right? The thing we're making right now is a placeholder anyway. So I don't mind a public domain graphic making it in, right? The model we're using is public domain. Like, all this stuff is public domain. Yeah, I'd be curious, Yoinked Phone, instead of skewing it, it might be worth just showing the non-skewed version. And I would say the non-skewed version actually probably looks even better. But you might want to flip it. And I would say flip the icon, but maybe not like the, you know, the person and the microphone. I'd say look at it and see what you think. I have no strong opinion either way. I'm just curious what it looks like. But all right, so we need some buttons up here at the top. Let's go do that right now. It's so easy. Let's just do it. I know, it's like I'm lazy or something. Why didn't I do it already? Why didn't I do all sorts of stuff? I don't know. Woo! Excuse me. I'm sorry. But yes, as far as what you're saying there, Metajeza, yes, I believe that is the case. Anything AI generated isn't allowed to be copyrighted. That doesn't mean that it's public domain, but it means that there is no copyright, which is a gray area somewhere between copyrighted and public domain. That's the trickier part, and I don't think it's actually been evaluated in courts yet. Marco K. I don't know Marco K. Yeah, do you have a link, Bob? One of the biggest people I have linked to as like a specific personality is like Maximilian something or other. Nope, not Maxmind, Academind. Maximilian Schwartzmuller. Yes, exactly, GS Volt. Yep. He's a really, really, really great teacher of basically everything. When people have asked what my recommended tutorial series for Angular is, yes, it's absolutely Academind and like his videos. He created Academind because he was getting ripped off by Udemy massively. Avasimos, I really like the question rather than like the random joke about it. The reason I keep so many tabs is everything from here to the left is part of my archive. And the moment you bookmark something, out of sight, out of mind, and it's gone forever. How often have you actually gone back and looked at bookmarks that you've created? It's extremely rare, right? So yeah, the moment you bookmark a tab, it's gone forever, and you might as well never think about it again. Meanwhile, these tabs I have are always right there in front of me, and it encourages me to actually like evaluate them again. Right? So having it right there, front of mind, actually encourages you to look at them eventually. And I do want to look at them eventually, right? There are tabs in there that I want to make YouTube videos about. There are tabs in there that are tools I want to evaluate. Like, there is so much in there that it's too much. So, JS Dinesh, you might, but you are the edge case. That is not the common case, man. Most people, once they bookmark it, they never look at it again. I do have all of my current tabs bookmarked inside of a folder when I do things like an update to the OS or whatever. But I basically never close these tabs. I never lose them. I never do any of that. Yes, I have a bookmark of all these tabs. I have a folder for it, but I trust that when I reboot, they'll be there. However, when I do a large update of my system, yeah, I go through and I create like a folder for these. Nah, I think you're fine, Yoinked Phone. We didn't see anything here, so you might have just been missed. I could group them and then minimize a group. I don't care about that part. I just don't care. I'm sorry, like, nah. I am fully productive utilizing 10-ish active tabs and then everything else is part of the archive. I'm fine with that. If y'all aren't productive doing so, I would evaluate why you're not productive doing so. Not the practice of hoarding tabs. Because hoarding tabs works. How you maintain productivity might be broken. Just saying. Don't hate me for speaking the truth. Oh, so Den, like, that's what I really like about this. Everything from here to the right, I could actually close every single tab, and just closing 10 tabs feels really good. I don't need to close all 100. I just need to close the ones in my working session, and I still feel really good about it. Now, I will go through and clear out some tabs eventually, but you know one that'll stick? This one for sure. This is my projects tab. This one stays forever. Everything to the left of this is stuff that I thought needed to persist. Everything to the right, questionable, right? We could delete a bunch of stuff, I bet. Everything to the left of this is absolutely the archive. And I use the archive. No, so Den, wrong. You only need RAM for active tabs. Chrome deprioritizes and deactivates tabs aggressively. You don't need RAM for all these tabs. You're wrong. I mean, the close button isn't there when you click into a new tab. It's only there when you're clicking into the same tab. So clicking into a tab is not an issue. Yeah, Yoinked Phone, right? Anytime you're seeing that icon, the only thing cached is the URL and the title. And that's about it. When you're seeing that icon for a tab, yeah, Chrome is not spending any major resources on it. At all. I don't think anybody here is actually horrified, like, beyond here. Take it easy. It's such a boring conversation to have every single day. Again, Avesimos, no, you didn't. It's like you didn't even listen to what I talked about. None of those inactive tabs are in active RAM. All of them have been paged to disk. All of them are active within virtual memory. Until you understand virtual memory, you can't understand RAM. So you got homework. Figure that shit out, man. And then maybe just stop caring about how other people choose to use their machine. But I highly recommend you understand these things before you comment, because you kind of look silly. No, there is 0 RAM occupied. Like, when I say 0, negligible RAM occupied by random tabs. They're all backgrounded, they're all virtual memoried, sorry. Right? All these things are accessible to the OS, but not in active RAM. Learning and understanding how active RAM works would benefit you as a software developer. I would consider anyone that doesn't understand how Chrome treats browser tabs that are backgrounded. That is someone that I don't think would qualify for various jobs and interviews, and it would be one of the first things I should probably ask. If I'm ever on the interviewing side of things, I might just ask someone, hey, what happens to a tab that's in your browser but you haven't used it for a while? I might ask that question. Because if you're not aware, if you're not sure, man, you might not be that good of a software dev. I don't know, man. Just saying. You might not understand anything about the systems you work with day to day. And JS Dinesh, right? Like, knowing or caring about that number would be a red flag to me as a person interviewing for your company. Interviews go both ways. No, I don't know specifically Guy Ross. I do know that tabs are backgrounded aggressively, like massively aggressively. So much so that, like, when I'm looking at my Brave browser on my stream machine, if I don't interact with a Twitch stream within 5 minutes, Chrome backgrounds that tab. The audio stops being shipped to my OS. Right? I would really question anyone that's never dealt with that before and doesn't understand that process. That's a little weird. They're definitely not a power user at that point. And as a web dev, you should be a web dev power user. I've never heard of Mighty. She mighty, letting it all hang out. Yeah, I don't think that's the reference you were making. But the fact that there is like a 70s funk disco / reference for that phrase, I'm okay. I think that works. His browser's a brick house. No, I'm pretty sure, Goatmeal, you're wrong on that one. Tabs are aggressively backgrounded. I think it's something you have to opt out of, actually. No worries, X Factor. Thank you for chilling. Yeah, I'll be over on Gaming Stream here later tonight. No idea, no clue, right? No idea what we're doing over there on that stream. I do have a WoW character that needs leveling. We did talk with Robotic Head and Acorn. If Acorn wakes up at a reasonable hour and wants to play some Baldur's Gate 3 with us, then yeah, we might do that. But yeah, no worries, X Factor. See you soon. Later. How's the interview grind going? I had a couple interviews on Wednesday. I got a final interview for a company on Monday. I got to send out my references for that company. I'm kind of hoping to hear back from the one I interviewed with on Wednesday that wasn't that company, that it was like a DevRel thing. I will reach out to them on Monday if I don't hear back yet. It was for a Solana-based DevRel role. And I just want to say, like, I would happily do some Solana-based DevRel stuff, just building random projects, etc., during my morning time, and writing blog posts and editing video after that. Like, no problem. Like, oh my god, I'd be really good at that. I would kill it at that. I'd give presentations about it. Like, dude, yeah. I'd start a meetup here in Seattle about it. Like, why not? Why not? They might be. I'll send them an email on Monday, for sure. I don't think they're waiting on that response. I don't think they're waiting on anything from me. I want to make sure I give them a little bit. DevRel is a grift, just give you better docs. I mean, DevRel can contribute to docs. However, presenting at meetups about your thing is valuable, right? How does someone hear about it unless you actually present about it? Like, there's value to it, but it is marketing. If you consider all marketing a grift, well then yeah, it'll be really hard. It'll be really hard to find common ground amongst each other. Dude, Goatmeal, you got this. Like, dude, seriously, like, what's the worst case? They say no? They're not gonna fire you over it, so yeah, you're fine, man. Just do it. Bob, yes, I get it. You are, like, opposed to me doing anything related to Solana. I get it. I know you're not a fan or whatever, right? if I made it just part of like my morning stream, right? I did that from like 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. and then we did like our normal stream from 1 p.m. till whatever. Wouldn't that be fine? Because all I would be doing on that stream for the company would be building out little hacky side projects that I open source, man. Doesn't that sound kind of fun? No, I get that, Bob. You made a previous comment saying, like, please don't make this like a crypto stream. And I get you. I understand your trepidation. I understand why you wanted to push back on that. But wouldn't it be fun if I could just stream and make something with Solana on stream, and then our normal time would shift back to my own side projects and we're good to go? Wouldn't that be fine? I think that would be okay. I feel like that would be fine. Yeah, exactly there, right? Like, Solana itself, I think, would be a really interesting and somewhat mature technology to build on top of. Exactly, right? It's not some fly-by-night crypto. It's not fucking Dogecoin, you know? It's a thing that is actively encouraged to, like, build stuff on top of, because that's where the value is actually driven. Right? Lower gas fees. It's not Ethereum, right? So I would love to make some content for them. If they're not interested, I'm willing to bet money I could convince them for like a few day a week sponsored stream thing instead. And work out like a proper contract for that would make sense. Right? It's fine, Bob. I agree with your trepidation. I agree with your, like, hey, hold on, let's pump the brakes. I think you're totally right, with no understanding of it, to have that concern. So again, Bob, I really appreciate you. Like, for sure, man. You watch both streams enough that I think you know me as an individual a bit. And I think you know that I wouldn't take something that was like blatantly shilly, right? So, yeah, I'm glad that we see eye to eye now, because I really wanted to discuss this with you more. Because I feel like you pushed back the most of anyone we've talked to, and I wonder if that pushback is correct. No, so Metajeza, Solana is fundamentally crypto. Just because Solana has been used for NFTs doesn't mean I'm going to push all the really bad NFTs that have been made. Ugh. Gross. Hell no. Right? So there's a separation, right? Solana is fundamentally crypto, right? So you can't separate from that. But I think the way that crypto has been used is worth judging based upon previous experience, sure, and then worth evaluating into the future to be better. And I'd love to build some apps around that at some point. Yeah, I think finding like the differentiation, finding the separator, like the line where you draw that line, important. So yeah, just chatting, discussing, understanding, Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Oh man, let's keep doing what we're doing here though. So import, export. Like realistically, yeah, you know. We started on the lemonades a bit early. No, I'll be over on gaming here in like an hour or so. Yeah. And we'll see how much I got in me. We'll see. Oh, so Yoinked Phone, would you like to game together? I'm a really bad Singed, but I'll happily play with you. Just saying. All sorts of stuff changed. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right, so Log Rocket here. EU dub. Yeah, so if you want to create like an NA character, yeah, you'll have to deal with the latency. Depending on the champ you play, latency doesn't matter. Yeah, there are champs where latency doesn't matter. Maybe Singed is one of them, so like maybe I can play on your server. We can do that. I don't mind. Yeah, worth a shot there, Yoinked Phone. For sure, man. Yeah, worth a shot. So import and export here. We'll make those outline buttons. Let's do that, right? So you're at like 50 on EU dub. 130 to 140 should be manageable. If you're above 140, like that's untenable. Like I get it. Don't even worry. Like not a problem. All right, we get these buttons here. I don't know their Yoinked Phone. Yeah, I haven't used that. I have no idea. All right, so we're using a tool called SQ Local. Ooh, get database file is all I need, right? Ooh, buddy. Yeah, that seems really good. WT Fast, yeah, I've never heard about it. Yeah, no idea. All right, so get database file and then overwrite database file. Those are the two methods I need. So yeah, get database file from new SQ local. All right, so we import that DB file. What up, Faraz? How you doing? All right, so we got this export, and I think we're good. All right, so I need to figure out where this value is coming from. We see that. All right, so here we see we're doing an export const db. Get database file. Is hold on. No, this ain't right. Like, nah, this is not correct. All right, so I have something I need to work through. That is this entire DB and how we're populating a couple things. Yeah, so oh, hold on. We got restarted's thing. Sure, that works too. Yeah, that works even better as like an SVG. So let me fire that one up so I got it for later too. Boom. Yeah, we got it. No big deal. Pretty solid. If you like view it at like 40 pixels though, do you even know what's going on? I don't think you do. That said, however, we've got some get database file, overwrite database file type methods that need work, and I am past the point of caring right now. This sounds like a problem for tomorrow. Doesn't it? I think it does. I think it does for sure. Especially because I'm getting tired. I got some steak to eat. I absolutely have a steak I gotta eat, man. I got this food that needs to go in my belly. So yeah, I think we're at a good moment. Yeah, this is like a steak moment. Who do we go raid? Algo Bro is at 7 hours. We've rated him somewhat recently. Spiro is at 7 hours as well. Man. And I'm sitting here at only 4.5. All these guys are putting way too much effort in. And hold on, man. I'm the person that streams too much. How dare they try and take my title, right? No, it's fine. They're all good. They got this. But who do we raid instead? I kind of want to go play some Pal World. We see a short stream on one person's thing. GitHub is doing an event in Spanish. Well, yeah, that's a different thing. I have not rated Thornity. They're doing part of the Game Jam, right? For Pirate Software. That sounds awesome. Yeah, this steak is gonna be amazing. I have no idea what food we eat. I might be the one that bails out of our Baldur's Gate thing tonight because I got the whiskey in me, and you know. But you know, we'll see if the other people are there. They'll have to carry me, which I think is fine. But let's go say hi to Thornity. Let's go do some stream stuff. Let's go hang out. Everyone that hung out over on YouTube, there's nobody here anymore. So there are 0 YouTube viewers for a late night YouTube stream. I get it. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream because there's no one even out there. So later. Cheers.